Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome to the Airbrush Garage. If you're new here, welcome. If returning, thanks for coming back. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at a cordless airbrush compressor kit sent to me from Dave from the Nimbo Airbrush Tech Company. So today I'm going to be taking a look at this airbrush. I'm going to be breaking it down. I'm going to take it apart. I'll take a really good look at the quality of the brush, the components of the brush, and then we'll test and see how it sprays. Then I'll wrap up. I'll give you the pros, the cons. I'll give you my review, and I'll give you what I think, or my opinion, on what the brush is best suited for. So if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you how to get in on the giveaway for this brush. So if that's something you're interested in, please stick around. Consider subscribing. Hit that bell so you get future notifications. A couple comments, good or bad. A thumbs up would be great. Don't forget to check out all my Amazon affiliate links down below for the products I use in this video and all my other videos. And with that, let's get started. So it comes in a really nice box. Right off the bat, what I would like to see is a little bit more of type of branding, what type of brush this is, the company name maybe. So it's just a plain black box, but a nice sturdy box, to say the least. Comes with a set of instructions. These are in English. I'm sure they have other ones for other countries or other languages. So the instructions are very basic and simple. I'm not going to go through all of them. It's just about hooking a hose up or how to hook the airbrush up to the compressor, but I'll be going through all of that. But a couple worthy notes here is it's a TM90 series. I'm going to be taking you over to the computer a little bit later, showing you where this is available and how much it costs. But it's a TM90 series. It has a 0.3 millimeter needle. Its working pressure is 10 to 20 psi with this wireless compressor. The brush can handle up to 30 psi, has a 40 to 50 minute continuous work time. It takes about 40 to 60 minutes to charge a battery, but a really cool feature is they give you two batteries, so while one's on charge, you can be spraying with the other one, so you're really never going to run out of charge. But with the 40 to 60 minute continuous work time, I mean, that's a lot of work time because as you'll see in a minute, the compressor starts and stops when you leave go of the trigger, so that's continuous work time, so you could really get hours out of one battery. So with that, let's take it out of the box, let's see what we got, and let's rip it apart. So right off the bat, we have the airbrush here. It's a gravity feed airbrush, like I said, with a 0.3 needle. We're going to be taking that apart here in a minute. It's got what looks like a 2-ounce cup. We've got the wireless compressor right here. You just push on the battery, it pops right out. It is a C-type charging port, which the cord comes with the kit. I'm not sure how many ounces this particular cup is, but comes with even a bigger cup. Comes with a little cleaning kit, some brushes, the spanner wrench to take out the nozzle or take off the nozzle. And it looks like what appears to be a little eyedropper. We'll need that. And then it comes with the airbrush hose. So not bad, looks pretty good right out of the box. Let's take the brush apart and see what we think. So before we take it apart, right off the bat, I see it's got a standard needle cap to protect your needle. I'll see how this feels under pressure, but the trigger mechanism feels pretty smooth. I do like that they're doing this on a lot of brushes now, that the cups are removable. That's like what I'm seeing a lot of new brushes come out with, and I really do like that. It just makes it so much easier to clean. So it's got a trigger stop mechanism on the back. That's pretty cool. I don't particularly use trigger stops. It's something handy to have. So overall, the quality so far looks pretty good. Let's take off the back. That's your 0.3 needle. So as far as parts go with this, right off the bat, let's talk about that a minute. I talked with Dave at Nimbo, and I noticed that there wasn't a lot of parts that are readily available with this brush, and I know that's important to a lot of the viewers out there, and it's important to me as well. But I will pop Dave's information down below, his email, the website, and if you do need any parts, you can contact him directly. He gets back to me, and he'll get back to you in a very, very short amount of time, and everything is available through the website or Dave. I do recommend that if you do have a brush like this, and you do go buy one, or you win this one, that you contact Nimbo directly for parts right now. They're just coming out with these airbrushes. This airbrush only just came out in July. They're coming out with another airbrush targeted more to, again, what you and I do with these airbrushes. I'm expecting to see parts more readily available on places like Amazon as well. So it's got the 0.3 needle. It's got your normal, setup, your collar here. But all of this is basically your standard airbrush parts and mechanisms. That right there is very similar to probably most of the airbrushes that you see. Nothing, different about that. That is the same style that is in my Iwata Eclipse. Again, got your needle cap, your nozzle cap, and this is where we're going to need our spanner wrench. Now I am curious. I'm going to grab one of my Iwata spanner wrenches here. And as I expected, the Iwata spanner wrench fits as well, because this looks like the same needle nozzles that now on the Eclipse, if you guys ever seen that, that's a different type. But on all of the other Iwatas, that is what the needle or the nozzle looks like. There's one question I have, and maybe one of you guys out there can answer it. I did not ask this question to Dave, but I'm assuming that this brush can also handle solvent-based paints. I mean, everything I use is water-based through an airbrush, but I know I'm going to get the question out there, does it handle solvent-based paints? So as far as the parts go, it really is your basic airbrush. Everything looks to be of very good quality. So let's put it back together and let's see how it sprays. All right, now that we got everything back together, I took the wrapper off the compressor so you guys can see this. I'll put it back on for whoever wins it. But you can see how much battery life you have left right here. Pretty cool feature. Again, you just press the battery, comes right back out. Pop it right in. Now that'll run continuously unless you hook the airbrush up. There's two ways to hook the airbrush up here. Now, if I didn't mention before, this is a dual action airbrush. So down for air, back for paint. So you can hook this airbrush up directly right to the compressor. What I probably would do is have this towards me so I could see how much battery life I have left. Okay, so now you heard it turn on, but it's not going to run unless I give it air. When I leave off the air, it stops. That's why your run time is going to be a lot longer than the 40-50 minute continuous run time. So it's kind of cool. It's very portable. You don't need the hose if you don't want the hose, but I'm going to hook the hose up here in a minute. If you don't mind the feel of this compressor in your hand, I kind of like it in a way. It's almost like a handle, because I like to steady my airbrush anyway. Okay, we're going to put some paint in this and see how it sprays as well. All right, so before you take it off, you're going to want to shut the compressor off or it'll keep running. This is an 1/8 inch connection, 1/8 inch standard connection. So let's hook our hose up. Gives you a little adapter right here because you have two 1/8 inch connections on this hose. It gives you the adapter. One of the cool parts about this is you could use this with any airbrush that you have. I mean, it doesn't have to be this particular airbrush. So let's turn the compressor back on. You can hear it. Start, stop. All right, let's load it up with some paint and let's put it to the real test. All right, so I got my paint loaded up here. I'm just going to go with some opaque black. I got a spray out card here. We're going to do a coverage test here and we're going to do a line test here. All right, so I got some paint loaded up here in my cup. I got it loaded up with some Createx Wicked opaque black because we're going to do a little coverage test on the spray out card here. I got a couple drops of the 4011 in there just to thin it out a little bit, and then we're going to do a line test here as well. So we're going to start off trying it with the hose. going to put 2 coats on this, see how it goes. I'm going to use 2 coats here and let that one dry a little bit. But I am full trigger all the way down with the air, all the way back, so I want to see the coverage on it. I'll come over here while that's drying and we'll try a couple lines. I'm just checking the responsiveness between the trigger and the paint, and it's actually very responsive. It stops when it's supposed to stop, it starts when it's supposed to start. Go with some full trigger here, just to see how the paint atomizes. And I'm out of paint there, but actually not bad at all. Let's hook it directly up to the compressor and see how that works. All right, so we got hooked directly up to the compressor here. You hear it turn on. I mean, it's a 0.3 needle, so you can see I can get all the fine lines I can with my other airbrushes. I will say, when you're hooked directly up to the compressor, there is a certain amount of vibration that you get, that you can feel. I'm not quite sure if I'm real crazy about that. I probably would prefer to connect the hose up and spray through the hose that way. You don't feel any of the vibration that way. Again, it wasn't bad, but I'm just not used to feeling that vibration when I'm spraying. That would be the only drawback. All right, before I wrap this up here and give you my final thoughts on this brush, let's head on over to the computer. All right, here we are at the Amazon page. I'll pop a link for you guys down below so you can get directly to it. The price point on this kit is $79.99 or $80, which I think is a very reasonable price for everything you get in this kit. Not only you get the dual action airbrush that can handle not only water-based but solvent-based paints, you get the 2 batteries, the air hose, the cleaning kit, the extra large cup, the charging cord, the compressor, the spanner wrench, and the eyedropper. So I think that's a very good value for what you're getting for $80. Now here's the full description. I'm not going to go through it. You guys can read that. Let's go down to some of the specs here. It gives you the dimensions of the product. Tells you you're getting 2 lithium-ion batteries that are included. It gets 5 out of 5 stars, and there's not a lot of ratings on this yet because it is relatively new to the market, as you'll see in a second. The manufacturer is Color Peak. It is a Chinese-based company, and the date it was first available was June 16th of 2022. And at the time of shooting this video right now is October of 22. So as you can see, relatively new. So just to recap, a couple features about this airbrush is that the auto start and stop function on the wireless compressor is really cool. That gives you just a ton of runtime. Again, it's real easy to pop the battery out, pop your other battery in. Gives you a really cool window right here, so you always know the status of the charge of your battery. Really cool feature. Another cool feature is that it can connect with any airbrush. You don't need to just use this airbrush. It has your standard 1/8" connection. It'll connect with any airbrush. And because of that, you could hook up your airbrush right to the compressor, or you could hook it up via the hose. So with that, let's get to some pros and some cons. All right, so let's start with the cons first. Number 1, like I said in the beginning, I think the branding can be better. It comes in a nice box, but it's a plain box. It doesn't tell you anything about the company name, or what type of airbrush is inside this box. So I think the branding can be a little better. Number two, I'm not quite sure if it's a con. It's more of a preference, but I would prefer metal cups versus plastic cups. I just think over time they're going to hold up a lot better. Number three, and probably the biggest con for me, is the availability of parts. We all bend needles, we break stuff. Parts have to be easily accessible. And what I mean by that, like Amazon, we live in this society today where you get online, you go on Amazon, you pick the parts you need, and they're at your doorstep within a day or two. After speaking with Dave and getting to know him a little bit, I do know that he will make sure that you get the parts that you need. I just think that in the future, or in the near future, Nimbo is going to have to make the parts just more readily accessible to their users, say like on a platform like Amazon. Now to the list of pros. First, upon opening the box, everything was nicely packed. Everything is in this kit that you need from start to finish, from hooking the brush up to the cleaning kit. Next is the construction of the airbrush. I found the construction of the airbrush to be very well made and right in line with the class of airbrush or price point that it is. I have no issue with this airbrush. This airbrush will spray just as good as a lot of the airbrushes I have sitting over there on my bench. The third pro is, with the wireless compressor, it does make it very mobile. I did test this for quite some time. It really did keep a consistent air pressure. Which brings me to my next point, the runtime. The runtime on this battery is just really, really good. Well, all right, my final thoughts on this airbrush kit is, I really like it. It's really not about the airbrush. I mean, the kit is really good. It comes with 2 batteries, like I said before, all the accessories, everything you need, but it's really about the compressor. But this compressor really surprised me. I really do like the fact that it comes with the 2 batteries. The battery life is long. It helps consistent air pressure because, like I said before, you can use this with any airbrush. So again, it's really not about the airbrush for me. It's about the portability and how well this compressor performed. And I really did like the way the compressor performed for a portable solution. Now, if you don't have an airbrush, this airbrush is a pretty good airbrush for its price point. I've had similar airbrushes at this price point not have the features that this airbrush has and the quality, and it's sprayed very well. So in conclusion, I would recommend this kit if you're looking for a portable solution. I still think there's no substitute for a full-time compressor in your shop, but again, if you're looking for a portable solution, this portable compressor really held up to the test. So with that, I hope you liked this video. If you did, you guys know the drill. Consider subscribing, hit those links, a couple comments, good or bad, really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. A thumbs up will be great. We're growing. It's all thanks to you guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video.